Get it clear. Understand that there is a creative power. It's an unadulterated creative power that's flowing into your consciousness. It has no form, and you can give it form. You can see exactly what you want. It doesn't matter whether you've got the resources. It doesn't matter whether you've got the money or the people to help you. You have the godlike ability to build the picture of exactly what you want in your consciousness. And then you let that picture sink through that imaginary line that separates the conscious from the universal side of your personality. And as it sinks into your subconscious mind, you let yourself feel yourself full of that idea. You literally fill your mind with that idea. Now, it's not enough that you should have a general desire for wealth to do good with. Everybody has that desire. It's not enough that you should have a wish to travel, to see things, to live more. Everybody has those desires also. If you're going to send a telegram message to a friend, you would not send the letters of the alphabet in their order and let them construct the message for themselves. Nor would you take the words at random from the dictionary. You would send a coherent sentence, one which meant something. When you try to impress your wishes upon the thinking substance, remember that it must be done by a coherent statement. You must know what you want and be definite. Begin the transmission by saying, I am so happy and grateful now that every fiber of my being is vibrating in harmony with God's laws. I see myself becoming healthier and stronger and more vibrant every moment of every day. Or if it's wealth you want, I am so happy and grateful, and fill yourself with gratitude. I am so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources on a continuous basis. Or if it's more business you want, I am so happy and grateful now that business is coming to me in an abundant manner, everywhere, every day. Fill your mind with this picture, but you've got to see it in your conscious mind. See it with the eye of the one in your consciousness. You can never get rich or start the creative power into action by sending out unformed longings and vague desires. Go over your desires, just as the man that was described in the previous lesson went over his house. See just what you want and get a clear mental picture of it as you wish it to look when you receive it on the physical plane. Now understand this, that you don't have to rush. It's not going to materialize maybe when you want it to materialize, but it must materialize. You go back to the second session and review the laws. We talked about the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is forever moving into form. What's moving into form in your life? The image that we're talking about right now. The good that you're filling your consciousness with. Do you remember when we talked about the law of gender? We pointed out that all seeds have a gestation or an incubation period. There's a period of time must elapse before this beautiful image materializes in your life. And understand this, it's in God's time, not your time. See, God never expresses himself other than perfectly. The imperfections in our life are brought about by our own thinking or our collective ways of thinking. Spirit never expresses itself other than perfectly. You want to fill your consciousness with the good that you desire. Let yourself get emotionally involved with it. So as we said, go over your desires just as the man did in the previous lesson, how we went over his house. See what you want and get a clear mental picture of it as you wish it to look when it materializes. Now let's get back to Waddell's words for a moment. As the sailor has the port toward which he is sailing in his mind, you must have a clear mental picture continually in your mind. You must keep your face toward it all the time. You must no more lose sight of it than the steersman lose sight of the compass. You see, there's going to be things happening in your life that aren't in harmony with this beautiful image. There's going to be people come into your life and they're going to give you negative suggestions. You're going to be reading newspapers, watching news broadcasts on television, or maybe hearing them on the radio. And you're going to hear stuff that is in direct opposition to your image. Reject those things. Remember, we talked about in the conscious mind, we have the ability to accept or reject. Reject it. Reject everything that isn't in harmony. I don't care how real it seems. It doesn't matter. It is not in harmony with your purpose. It's not in harmony with your picture, so you reject it. Now let's go back to Waddles. He said it's not necessary to take exercises in concentration, nor to set apart special times for prayer and affirmation, nor to go into silence, nor to do occult stunts of any kind. These things are well enough, but all you need to know is what you want, and to want it enough so that it will stay with your thoughts. Think for a moment. You may feel that I'm contradicting myself, but I'm really not. I'm talking about what you want. I previously talked about developing the ability to concentrate, and you should develop the ability to concentrate. Concentration increases amplitude of vibration. It gives more energy, focused energy towards what you want. But think of this. We're talking about what you really want. Do you remember when you fell in love? God, wasn't it beautiful? You remember the feeling in your stomach? You couldn't get the butterflies to fly in formation. I mean, everything was just so phenomenal. Do you remember? You do remember, don't you? I'm talking about you really fell in love. Did you have to get a note out to tell you to remind yourself to think of this person? No, you couldn't get the person out of your mind. You'd be driving down the street and their head would be like a hologram sitting out on top of the hood of the car. You're in love. Fall in love with the idea. Get an idea that fills your being, and then the idea will stay there. Now you may be thinking, well, I can't really have that. You can have anything. That's what this program is all about. You can have anything you want. That's a beautiful part about being the human, creative being that we are. Now, Waddle says spend as much of your leisure time as you can in contemplating your picture. Isn't that what you did when you fell in love? You just wanted to see her or him, whichever it was. You wanted to be with them. You wanted to reach out and touch them. You could hear them talking every time a particular song played. They filled your consciousness. Well, that's what you want to do with this idea. When we do this, it's like simulation. It's imagined reality. Make it real in your mind. Make use of them in imagination, just as you will use them when they are your tangible possessions. Dwell upon your mental picture until it is clear and distinct. Then, take the mental attitude of ownership toward everything in that picture. Take possession of it in your mind, in the full faith that it is actually yours. Now remember, I pointed out of a previous session on gratitude that gratitude is faith in action. So when we say take possession of it in your mind, in the full faith that it is actually yours, you be grateful for it coming into your life. You don't only be grateful for what you've got, you be grateful for what's coming. Waddle says take possession of it in your mind, in the full faith. What is full faith? Full faith is faith with gratitude, with the full faith that it is actually yours. Hold to this mental ownership. Do not waver for an instant in the faith that it is real. I think it's vitally important that you review this lesson. Review it often. Review it over and over again. Keep listening to this. Keep reviewing it in your mind.